Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing here? Welcome back to the garden party here on Escaping the Suburbs. I'm Scott, as always, your host, 100% AI free. Great to have everybody back again tonight. I see for some reason one person texted me and said he's having a hard time getting connected. So I'm just going to reply to him and say, reboot. And maybe that will solve his problems. For everybody else, how is everybody doing tonight? Very good to see you all. And a couple things are going on. Hey, I want to show everybody something neat. And this is kind of exciting, and it's not anything of mine, but I do want to show it to you. So I think everybody knows Rob the Maritimer. He's kind of our granddaddy for all of us small YouTubers, right? And Rob has started this thing called the Creators Growth Project, and I just wanted to point it out and bring it to your attention, talk about it a little bit. I'm not here to do a sales pitch for him, but I think it's a really cool idea. And so I just wanted to show you what he's doing. He's got this program that's going to be running over several months, and you send him an email and have a sort of an interview process to see whether it's a good fit or not. But it's around building a YouTube channel and a business that works together, right? So he's got his little description here. The Creators Growth Project is a small application-based coaching mentorship program for creators who want to build a growing, successful YouTube channel along with a sustainable one-person business. There are two parallel tracks to the program, the YouTube track and the business track. The program is community-driven and focused on long-term clarity, confidence, direction, and, of course, accountability. I'm going to put a link to this program in the chat so that you can find this yourself later as well. I think it's a really neat idea that Rob's doing, and I just wanted to bring it up and point it out to everybody. You can see here he's got a list of the growth project will be for people our age, people who feel stuck with their channel. They want direction, accountability. They want some feedback, more than you can get from his regular weekly live stream, right? And you want to build a real business behind your channel, coaching, small group support. I love his little list of who it's not for as well, right? He says this is not for people who want to get rich quick. You know, I want to check something real quick and make sure I'm not crazy. Let me just peek at something real fast in my channel and make sure that I did not. I see what the problem was. There we go. Okay. So, I think I had the live stream set to private. So let me tell him he's not crazy. And hopefully by setting that public, everybody can join it as well. So I think so. Let me refresh that, and I think that should work. Yeah, there we go. So now hopefully everybody can see that we're in. Okay, so as I was saying, Rob's program looks really cool. I think it's a great idea, and I like who he said it's not for. It's not for people who want to get rich quick, or you want to build an AI-generated channel or something. You don't want to be on camera. You don't have time to commit to it. I think this is a great project, this Creators Growth Project that Rob the Maritimer is doing, and I just wanted to bring everybody's attention to it and show it to you and all that. So, yeah, hey, Daniel, glad you made it. I'm just... I'm kind of silly. I accidentally made the live stream private and went live on a private live stream. So now I've made it public. So I'm glad you made it in, Daniel. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Daniel. I'm just talking a little bit about Rob the Maritimer's Creators Growth Project for small YouTubers. If people haven't seen that or unaware of it, just bringing everybody's attention and pointing it out. I think it's a great idea and really neat. So... I encourage everybody to check that out, and there is a link to it in the chat. So that's pretty neat. I think everybody would get a kick out of it and at least take a look at it and see if that's something that you're interested in, and see if that's something that works for you, right? Hang on a second. Let me reply. Now, now I'm getting a phone call from my dad. Should I take it on the live stream? Let's take it. Hello and welcome. You are live with Escaping the Suburbs Live. No, he hung up. Why did he hang up? Hey, Lori. Yeah, Lori, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I accidentally had the live stream set to private, and I realized it when I got a text from my dad that he couldn't get through. So let me call him up. He keeps calling me. Hey, CL, good to see you're here too. Tell you guys a funny story. Hey, you're live on Escaping the Suburbs. How you doing? Hey, so it was my mistake. I accidentally started the live stream with it set to private, so you should be able to find it now. All right. Okay. Everybody say hi, Sonny. All right, see you. Hi. So, that was my bad. I started the live stream and I had it set to private and never even noticed it. No wonder nobody was saying that they were going to come or anything like that. So, if you didn't see it, and of course you didn't see it because I was private at the time. Daniel's doing pokes now. Okay. Hey, I just wanted to show everybody something that Rob the Maritimer, the granddaddy of us small YouTubers, is doing. I think this is a really neat idea he's put on called the Creators Growth Project. If you haven't seen it, I think it's a great idea. He's building this parallel track application-based coaching mentorship program for small creators like us. And it's really neat. It's going to be, he says, a parallel program with the YouTube track and the business track running at the same time with a community and group. So there will be small group support. It'll be mentorship, accountability. I think this is a great idea. I love his little website here that says it's not a good fit if you want to get rich and you expect guaranteed results or you want to build an AI channel. So I'll drop a link to that in the chat, and you can check it out if that's something you're interested in. I think it's a really great idea that Rob is doing this. Essentially, you let him know you're interested, and he sets up a interview type process, and you talk it over with him and decide whether or not that's something that works out for you. And I love, if you look at the website in the background, you can see that hill where he does his videos that looks out over the bay, right? We all know that hill. I think we've all seen it. That's the place where he was doing that dancing video from, so I think that's cool. So let's see. Let's get caught up on the chat here. Lori is here. Yes, you had a real hard time finding me tonight, and that's all my fault. I made the video private. My bad. Sorry about that. By the way, what do you think of the new color scheme? I did a little refresh and redesign on the colors, the borders, and the text, trying to make it a little bit more readable. CL says tag you're it because I just saw her over at Daniel's stream. And Daniel, I thought that was a real nice live stream you did. Your show and tell, it was a great idea. Basically pulling all the cool stuff down off your walls and showing everybody your trophies and your stuffed trophies and your feathers and your arrows and all that stuff. That was super cool. Tyler is here. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Rob is really cool, isn't he? I just wanted to bring everybody's attention to that Creators Growth Project. If you hadn't seen he's doing that, I think it's really neat. And for small creators like us, I haven't decided if it's something I'm going to jump in and sign up for. But even if I don't, I want everybody else to know about it and know it's out there. Hey, while we're looking at the browser page, let's also take a peek and let's see how the channel is doing. Let's see how our channel is doing. This is a graph that shows the growth from the past year, basically. And the reason I pulled this up starting a year ago is because it was in April that I did a pivot on the channel and completely rebranded it, gave it a whole new name, and decided I wasn't making motorcycle videos anymore, and started focusing on hiking and camping and going outdoors and taking walks in nature and getting away from the stress and chaos of living in the suburbs. So if we look at April back here, we had 2,700 subscribers, and it had been flat, right in this neighborhood for years. But since April, there's been a nice growth and steady growth. And this point right here around August is actually when I started doing shorts and adding shorts and doing live streams. So I think there's a noticeable bump in the channel's I know subscribers is not necessarily a benchmark that everybody needs to think about, but it's something. It is a measure of people saying, "Hey, I want to look at your channel." So there's a little bump when I started live streaming here in August, and it's been a nice growth, right? We hit 3,100 earlier this week, and right now it looks like it's doing 3 or 4 new subscribers a day as long as I'm putting out those shorts. Boy, those shorts really drive subscribers, and that's something I never would have guessed. If I was to pull up I have I can show it to you. It's one of these advanced mode saved reports that I built, and it says where subscribers gained and lost. And we can see in these videos, this blue column is a video that generated subscribers. So like 3 subscribers while watching this video, 3 on this one. And if you look over here, they're all shorts. It's a tons and tons. The shorts are just driving subscribers like crazy. Once in a while, you'll see a long form video down here. Okay, 1 subscriber on this one, 1 subscriber on this one. But man, these shorts, and you can crank these shorts out by taking your existing long form video and use Opus clips or something like that to chop your videos up. Lori, I know you've been doing that. I've seen your shorts, and I can tell you're doing something like that. It works great, and I'm just shocked at the number of subscribers for whatever subscribers are worth on the channel. And I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but yeah, okay, finally you did make it in. I'm glad. Sorry about that. That's 100% my fault. Starting a live stream, apparently, hey everybody, pro tip, starting a live stream with it in private mode is about as useful as starting a video and talking for 12 minutes with it on mute. So don't do either one of those, right? So I think that's kind of interesting, but the one we were really looking at was the live view of subscribers. So it'd be funny if this flicked and jumped up one while we were watching right now, but I don't expect it to. Laura, you say you get 75% of your subscribers from shorts. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. 75, 80%. Now, tell me what you think, Lori. Are these subscribers that we're getting people who will eventually watch the long form videos and get value of it and maybe join a live stream eventually and become part of the family and part of the community? Or are they just people who are scrolling on their phone, watching shorts, and they hit subscribe, but they may not ever come back? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know which way it works, honestly. So, I don't know. But it's nice to see the subscribers growing for whatever it's worth. Used to be like the most important number I looked at. But now I'm looking a lot more at views, watch hours, how many people are making comments, and who's showing up to the live stream, right? We're getting more and more viewers of every single live stream every single week. Like I said, I've been doing it since August. So we're coming up on 4 months of continuous live streaming every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And every single time we've done it, we've seen a little bit of a bump, not in concurrent viewers. I don't see a ton of people flashing this. The chat's not scrolling by in a madness, but the total number of people who drop by and see it and stick around for a little while is going up and up and up. So I think that's really nice. So what did you all do? Oh, while I'm at it on the browser view, one more thing I will show you is, speaking of the Opus Clips thing, here's my Opus Clips home screen. And I started doing something different today. Don't do what I do until if I tell you it worked, but I'll tell you what I did. So I've loaded up 5 of my older videos, including the most recent video and some of the older ones that had a lot of views. And I loaded them up in Opus Clips. And then here's the trick. What I did is, what I used to do is I'd go and I'd hit this little calendar icon that's right here, and that lets you publish one video right now to your channel, and you can decide when it's going to go and if it's private. And I would just basically publish it as private and then go over to my channel and update the tags and update the description and update that little button that says like a related video, so people who are watching it can find the real video. But that's not what I did this time. What I did today is I clicked on this select button up in the top right corner, and I hit select all, which selects all of your videos in this clip. These are all of the shorts that were auto-generated by that one long video. And then I clicked bulk schedule, and what it does is it loads up all the videos inside of this streaming row right here. And then I just hit customize time, and this lets you set it so that you can put a video out every 2 hours, every 4 hours, every 12 hours, every day. I just selected every 2 hours because it had something like 15 videos, 15 shorts were copied up. And I picked the start time being like 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So I would have picked tomorrow on the calendar and then said, 9 a.m. And so that basically made a video get scheduled at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then I did the same thing to another long form video that was in there. So like, let's say I went back to the home screen and I picked another one of these and I did another select all, bulk, customized, and instead of starting at 9, I started it at 10. So now this one, because you can't get this thing to schedule every hour, the most it'll do is every 2 hours. That's the most frequent it'll do. So by this one starting at 10 and going every 2 hours, it did 10, noon, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So it's like every other hour from that previous schedule. And let me show you what the end result is. And I didn't even realize Opus Clip had this. Come on, get out of here, confirm. Go back to the home screen. Down here is a calendar. And in the calendar view, you can see the videos that have been set up and already posted, and you can see the videos that it has scheduled to go out. So this one's scheduled at 10 p.m., and then tomorrow there's one at midnight, and 2 a.m., and 4 a.m., and 6 a.m. And, if I had total control, I probably wouldn't do them overnight like that, because I don't think you get a lot of views overnight, not compared to like what you get in the mornings and in the afternoons and dinner time. But I figured, what the heck, let it crank them out. So 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. The reason it's every hour, and even some of them on these odd numbers like 10:01, is because I would take one video and set it out every 2 hours starting at 10, and another video every 2 hours starting at 11. So you guys are going to get real sick of seeing my shorts on YouTube, because I've got 24, 25. This is only one more for today. So that's like 45, 46 videos or something just over the next 3 days, essentially every hour. And like I said, it drives subscribers. And as Rob said in several of his videos and in his live stream, and I believe what Rob said, it's great for branding, driving your branding and helping spread awareness of your channel. I think that's probably the most important thing that this guy gives us, is spreading awareness of our channel. And the other thing I did today, and I have no idea if this is going to make any difference at all, is I connected my Twitter account, or X, as well. And I'll experiment with that. But it's not like people are going to see my videos on X and come find my YouTube channel. I don't expect that to happen. So I'm not planning on that. I don't think that's what's really going to happen. So that was that. But my next big question for you, after I take a drink, got to stay hydrated. How was Thanksgiving? How was your time last weekend? I'm assuming everybody here got a chance to spend some time with family. And for those of you who have YouTube channels, did you continue to publish your videos on a regular schedule through the Thanksgiving holiday, or did you make a change based on that? Did you change when your videos come out? If you had planned to normally do a video on Thursday, did you not? I do videos on Fridays, but instead of Friday, like at quitting time at 5 o'clock, I put it out around 1 o'clock on Friday, figuring most people in America are probably taking the day off, day after Thanksgiving. So I pushed that out, but I'm curious what you folks did. That's right. That explains why there's a bunch of shorts whenever you went on break. Yes, ma'am. I'm flooding YouTube with shorts because it's zero effort now with this thing. So speaking of the Thanksgiving weekend, I went out and I made 3 videos on Friday and Saturday. Friday I went out and did 2 videos, and I got to tell you, the first one was a struggle. I was really struggling. The video was a way to overcome or face a fear that I had out in the Everglades. And I'll go ahead and share it with you guys now, because I don't think it's any kind of spoiler when the video does come out. But I had been out in the Everglades on a levee. We have these levees that hold back canals and hold back water and everything. It's like a big tall mound that's miles and miles long. So I was on top of that, parked up with my car about 4 or 5 months ago. And a guy pulled up in a pickup, and he got out and had a backpack on. And started heading towards down the levee, down into the Everglades, into the swamp, like it was nothing. And I called out to him and I said, "Are you going on a ruck? Are you going on a hike?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go walk down in there." And so I talked to him a little bit about, do you have enough water, and how often do you go down in there? But it kind of freaked me out because he wasn't following an established trail. He wasn't going on some elevated boardwalk that's been made by the park system. He wasn't hiking on some cleared out, beaten down path. He just hiked right down into the muck and just knee deep with all the pythons and the rattlesnakes and the wild boar. And I'm not too worried about alligators, although there are gators out there. In fact, I can see them very easily from where we were. Alligators don't bother you, and if you don't bother them, they don't bother you. But it kind of freaked me out. And I wanted to go explore where he went, but I was afraid to, right? It seemed overwhelming. And every time I thought about the idea of walking down off the levee, down into the Everglades, it just kind of freaked me out. So I decided Friday, I'm going to face that fear. I'm going to go do it. And I don't have to walk far. I don't have to walk for miles out into the Everglades. I just wanted to walk down off the levee and down into the swamps. So I went out to shoot a video there, and it wasn't the fear that made it so miserable. It was the fact that it was blowing wind. It had to be going 40, 50 miles an hour out there. My hat was flying. I knocked over tripods with cameras. I was trying to film a behind-the-scenes video as well as the main video, and both those tripods fell over. It broke the leg on one tripod. I tried to snap that leg back into where it goes and completely busted my thumbnail in half. And man, I was just struggling, guys. I was just not having a good time out there. And I got through it, and I made the video, and then I packed up and I booked it out of there, and I went to a nice peaceful boat ramp. And I made a second video talking about the stressful situation of trying to be out doing something fun and doing something out in the outdoors and just getting beat up and clobbered by the outdoors. And I thought that second video, I kind of started to recoup a little bit of my sanity and get back some of the peace. And honestly, I had to kind of walk off some of the stress and frustration that I was feeling. It was rough, but by the time I got out to the boat ramp, I could watch people. By that time of day, they were finally starting to take their boats back out of the water, and watch some people fishing on the dock. And there was an alligator out on the water. I could kind of see it floating around on the top, and it was peaceful. The sun was starting to go down. Everything was getting to be good and chill. It was still windy as heck, but it was a good time, and I enjoyed making that second video. And then the third video completely reset on Saturday, and I went up to a place called Grassy Waters that I've been to before. And when I had gone out there before, you may remember that I did a video walking on something called the Eagle Trail, which I originally thought was named that because there was eagles on it, but it's not. The trail was actually carved out and built by a Boy Scout doing his Eagle Scout project, and that's why it's called the Eagle Trail. And that was where I made a video talking about your mental shelf space. If you remember the mental shelf space video, I know some of you do because some of you commented on it and talked about that concept yourself. Well, there's another trail up there that I didn't get time to explore that day called the Hog Hammock Trail. And it's a funny name, Hog Hammock, to think of a pig sleeping in a hammock, laying in a hammock, but it's not that kind of hammock. Up here, or down here, a hammock is an elevated hilly area in the swamps that's drier than the surrounding areas, and it usually has trees on it. That's a hammock. And there's a trail out there called Hog Hammock that I missed, and I didn't get a chance to explore it. So this past Saturday, I went up on Hog Hammock Trail and filmed a really fun, nice video and had a great time. It made up for all the struggle I was going through on Friday, and it was so nice. Had an awesome time. And so, those two, you think you're going to go out and make some great videos, and sometimes it's a struggle just to even finish making the video. And then some days you go out and it feels so nice you don't ever want to come back home. That was my experience over Thanksgiving weekend. let me get caught up on the chat and see if you did any conversation about that. I see that our friends Deb and Mike have made it. Hello, I'm so glad to see you guys here. I was talking about your channel. I think I was talking about your channel with my dad this week, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I think I did. And CL is answering my question about the holiday posting. I did extra posting because I was off work Thursday and Friday. Good. Yeah, so I got 3 videos made, and you got a chance to do some extra posting too. I've really been enjoying your posts, CL. Did you see my comment on that little treasure trove you found of the folding table and the little treasure box? That treasure box has a map on it. And man, I just like anything with maps, anything to do with maps. As you can see, I got enough maps behind me, I should never get lost anywhere, So, Deb and Mike, I don't know, you guys don't really do Thanksgiving out there where you live, but did you get a chance to have any kind of good videos this weekend? Is that anything you guys got a chance to do? Now, on that topic, making 3 videos in one weekend, I've got my stack of videos that are waiting to be released up to 8. And that's not counting the behind-the-scenes videos that I'm adding for members. So if you don't know, it costs $1 to be a member of the channel, a supporting member. You can click join on the channel, and I upload a behind-the-scenes video for every main video. I let my members see a kind of like a making of, as I sort of talk to the camera and say what I'm doing and show my camera setup and talk about my mindset as I'm building it. So not counting the behind-the-scenes video, I've got 8 ready to go, which makes me think that maybe I should go back to 2 a week instead of just 1 on Fridays. Maybe I should go back to 2 a week. Let me show you something. I want to show you guys something in YouTube here. You guys know about this little AI star up here that's part of Google's Gemini. If you click this little star, you get an AI YouTube studio, and it knows everything about your channel. It can see your statistics. It's kind of competing with the vidIQ AI coach. So let's ask the Ask Studio AI a question, okay? I upload a video every Friday afternoon. I'm thinking about doing or switching, let's say switching to 2 videos a week. What day would be best to do a second video? You guys know about this AI that's connected to your YouTube studio? That little star is hiding up at the top waiting for you to ask it. So let's say, what does the AI think I should do? And what does the AI think would be a good day? All right, it says that's a fantastic idea. Increasing your upload schedule to 2 videos a week is a great way to give your audience more of what they enjoy. Boy, AI really knows how to butter us up, doesn't it? Based on your viewers' activity over the past 28 days, here's the best day and time. The best day to publish a second video outside of your current Friday afternoon slot would be Thursday. Looking at why your audience is most active. Now, see, it's suggesting I do a Thursday video in addition to a Friday video. I think right off the bat, all of our red flags are waving and alarm bells are going off saying, no, that's dumb. You don't do 2 videos one after another. You spread them out. But here it is talking about a Thursday, 3 to after. Now, it's also got additional days of the week, and it's got this information. Now, you can get the same info yourself by just going down here to the audience tab and scrolling down here and looking at this chart and seeing, you can see the heat map when the best time is. I just thought it was fun to ask AI. But here's the interesting thing. I asked AI this exact same question in a different window. I asked the same AI, the same question, worded exactly the same way, and it said I should do it on Monday. So, AI, sometimes full of crap. Sometimes it sounds so authoritative, and it sounds like it knows exactly what it's talking about, and sometimes it's just fooling you. It told me earlier that Monday, which is the day that I think makes the most sense, spread it out, Fridays and Mondays. So Monday, put out a video, people can watch it all week long, do a live stream on Wednesday every week, and then another video on Friday for people to watch over the weekend. That's what makes sense to me. And that's what it agreed with. And then I ask it again right now, and it says Thursday. I could ask it again, it might say Sunday. So it gives a lot of good supporting reasons, but you guys got to double check your AI, because sometimes it's lying to you. Hey, here's another question. What is this? San Miguel de Allende this month, and we'll start posting soon. Wow, that is going to be cool. I have no idea where that is, but I will learn all about it from your videos. San Miguel de Allende this month. All right, we will watch for that. Very cool. Very cool. So on the topic of AI, have any of you noticed people over relying on it in chat comments? You can kind of, if you use AI a lot, you get to where you can spot the AI lingo. You can spot it, and you can see when somebody's replying to you in a chat or on a forum, and they're just talking, and they use these catchphrases that AI uses. Like, it'll say, hey, when you're doing this, that's not just this, it's this. And here's the thing, you're also doing this, which is building this. And that's, it's like it's got this way of building its persuasive argument. I saw that on a forum reply to somebody they were kind of struggling with their YouTube growth, asking questions about their subscriber growth or something. And this guy replied in something, it was clearly an AI reply and that's not the blah, blah, blah. It's also, that's actually like emotion, blah, 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 growing, with the little long M dashes, not the little hyphens, but the long M dashes built in. And it said, phrases like, and here's the thing. It's just sometimes if you use AI enough, you get to where you can hear it and you can spot it instantly. When you'll see people reading from a script, and I'm not against using AI to come up with topics and bullet points, and it helps you think of things for your videos, that you would not normally think of. I've done that. I've made videos where I've come up with topical ideas using AI to help generate ideas and churn. And I've even used it in the past to write a script, but I would look at the script and then paraphrase it in my own words. But boy, some of these guys, you see them, and you can tell that all they did was they asked AI for a script and they just read it verbatim. And I think the more time goes on, the more us humans are going to get to where we can spot it, right? Our AI radar is going to get more perceptive and more sensitive to it. So I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly, Lori. All the AI sound pretty much the same. They all have certain phrases, but they're also canned responses that YouTube provides under the comments, so you can just click the canned comment. That's true. Reply to the AI post with the AI-generated canned comment. Yeah. I saw a video yesterday on a shorts reel that was somebody asked his AI on the phone a question, and it had set to talk back and speak it, and then he put it down next to another AI, and then they just started talking to each other. And they were doing that same sort of lingo, like, sweet, that's great, I'm here for it. Yeah, awesome, I'm vibing with that too. And I was just like, two AI phones talking to each other, vibing, and it's just, you spot it, you pick it up, and it's like, where are we going, you guys? And just as an aside, I work in computers, I work in IT, I do a lot of IT work. And we trained a lot of AI at my office with a lot of our documentation. We let it look at a lot of our trouble tickets and solutions. We trained AI on a lot of our chats and our conversations so that you could talk to a help bot. But now we're updating it to a new generation of AI. And the powers that be said a good idea would be to train the new AI on the old AI. So now the new AI is eating the old AI and is going to be regurgitating what it learned from the old AI. And pretty soon we'll have AI writing the code for the new AI and then training it on the information that's spat out by the old AI. And I think eventually it all starts to collapse like a house of cards and the whole thing implodes and we'll have no knowledge left. So, yeah. I don't like when it tries to fill in and predict how it'll respond to a question. AI requires a babysitter. I turned off that predictive text thing on my phone. I can't stand that predictive text because it seems like it just like wants to jump ahead and answer it in ways that I didn't want to, which causes me to think about the way that it said it wants me to reply, and I just turned all that off. I don't know. It's a great help. There was an article that came out in SciPost or something like that said that AI is making us stupider. And it kind of reminds me of how nobody remembers phone numbers like we used to when we were young. You know, I used to have 30 or 40 phone numbers memorized for all my friends. And now I know my phone number, and that's it. So I don't know. AI could make us dumber because we no longer retain information. But if that was true, I think that also Google would have done the same thing. We would have all gotten dumb, and maybe we did, because you can look anything up. And in a way, the other argument is that AI might make us smarter because it causes us to explore when we read an article and something seems weird or we don't understand the article. By the way, did you notice none of the news makes sense anymore? You read an article and you're like, what are you talking about? What is this? But you can go to AI and say, how does the strategic oil reserves work, and learn something. So it's making me a little bit more curious knowing I can always go ask AI a question about something I don't understand. So if it's making us dumber, it's also making us smarter, and it's making us more curious. So I don't think humans are ever going to change. Anyway, so what's the plan for this Christmas? Are we going to make Christmas videos? Are we going to do Secret Santa? Are we going to, one thing we could do is we could all pitch in, all of us who are friends here. Basically, I call ourselves Rob's kids. All of us guys, Granny as well, who didn't seem to be here tonight. But we could all throw our names in a hat, and then you pull out a name, one of us would have to organize it, or maybe we make AI organize it. But when you pull out somebody's name, instead of buying them a present, you have to film a video to them, telling them Merry Christmas or something, So like if I got Daniel's name, I'd post a video saying, hey, Daniel, I got your name in the Secret Santa. Merry Christmas. And if Deb and Mike got Lori, you'd make a video saying, hey, Lori. Or Mike's Adventure Sparks, all of us guys that sort of comment on each other's video. There's these little circles in here, And it's kind of funny. We're kind of like an echo chamber, a bunch of small creators talking about YouTube all the time. So Google and YouTube thinks that's all we care about, so it shows us a ton of videos about YouTube, which I don't want my viewers. I'm not a YouTube growth channel, so I don't want my viewers to be watching my channel expecting YouTube advice. It's meant to be outdoors related content, kind of like Tyler's got going on. The Tennessee and the outdoors Tennessean. But I don't know. That might be fun to do a Secret Santa. We could all, of course, not everybody here has a channel. So whoever's name Dad pulled, you'd have to make a video, Dad. I'll type it up as an idea and shoot it out to everybody and see what you all think. You think that's a cool idea, Lori? You be down with it? Hey, what do you guys say we do our trail news? Trail news this week is going to be short. So let's do trail news real quick while I'm thinking about it. As you know, I'm going to cut this into a separate video. So that's what the little pause is for. Welcome to Trail News for the week of December 3rd, 2025 from Escaping the Suburbs. Get into nature and escape the stress. From Jefferson County, Colorado, Lookout Mountain Preserve Trail System, Bottacher Mansion, and Lookout Mountain Nature Center will have intermittent closures starting in December. The Lookout Mountain Preserve Trail System, and I hope I'm saying this right, Bottacher Mansion, and Lookout Mountain Nature Center will be subject to intermittent closures from December through March due to ongoing forest health work. For your safety, do not enter closed areas and respect all posted signs and barriers. For more information, please visit the Lookout Mountain Nature Center page at jeffco.us. And that is your trail news for the week of December 3, 2025. I told you it was going to be a short one this week. If you have any trail news from your area, please email it to me at escapingthesuburbs@gmail.com. I told you that would be short. So thank you for letting me do that here. And we'll just generate a quick little 1-minute trail news episode for this week. Now, since Daniel and Lori are here, one thing we can try at the end of the live stream, and I don't know how to do it, but there's an update that came out from Ecamm. A new version came out, and it said that one of the new features is that it supports switching from public to members only in a live stream. And I asked Rob about that on Tuesday. He said, I don't know, I haven't looked at it. Why don't you try it, Scott, on your live stream? So that's a good idea. So since we do have a couple of our members here, at the end of tonight's live stream, coming up pretty soon, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to switch it to members only and see what happens. But we won't do that quite yet, because the last thing I want to do before we get too late is our weekly nature reading. And as you know, I love to show you something that I found from literature in which the feeling of being in nature is described on the page. And a couple of weeks ago, my dad was telling me he had seen something really neat on Facebook about J.R.R. Tolkien and his wife Edith, and how it paralleled the story of Beren and Luthien. And what a shame that we don't have Geraldine here tonight, because she would love this. Because tonight I'm going to share with you something from the book that I told my dad he needs to go read the story of Beren and Luthien from, which is the Silmarillion. That's the book that came out in 1977, published 4 years after J.R.R. died, and it was compiled by his son, mostly from the writings his father had made starting in the 1930s, going all the way up to the time of his death. There is about 5 or 6 pages of material in there where his son Christopher had to come up with material that was not written. Otherwise, there would be a huge gap in the story. But the vast majority of this huge book, the Silmarillion, is compiled. So what I thought would be fun tonight is to do a nature reading from the Silmarillion, and I was going to do a section from Beren and Luthien, but it's not the happiest story in the world. I mean, it's happy in the end. It's got a happy ending. But most of the way through, they're fighting their way through dungeons, and they're fighting their way through pits and lairs of evil bad guys and everything. So it's not the most nature happy thing in the world. So I chose a different section, and the section I found is part of Tolkien's legendarium about the 2 trees. And just for context, these 2 trees were planted before the stars had been hung in the sky, before the moon was there to light the sky. And these 2 trees existed before the time of men. It's you know, the elder race in Tolkien's world are the elves. And don't think of little Christmas elf on a shelf elves. Think tall, stern, powerful, warlike elf lords, right? That's the elves of Tolkien's legendarium. It's not little cute elves, it's big powerful elves. So here is his description of the beginning of days from the Silmarillion, and I'm going to read this to you, so enjoy. And as they watched, upon the mound there came forth 2 slender shoots, and silence was over all the world in that hour. Nor was there any other sound save the chanting of Yavanna. Just for context, Yavanna is one of the higher-ranking beings who helped create everything in the world. Under her song, the saplings grew and became fair and tall and came to flower, and thus there awoke in the world the 2 trees of Valinor. Of all things which Yavanna made, they have most renown, and about their fate all the tales of the elder days are woven. The one had leaves of dark green that beneath were as shining silver, and from each of his countless flowers a dew of silver light was ever falling, and the earth beneath was dappled with the shadow of his fluttering leaves. The other bore leaves of a young green like the new open beech. Their edges were of glittering gold. Flowers swung upon her branches in clusters of yellow flame, formed each to a glowing horn that spilled a golden rain upon the ground, and from the blossom of that tree there came forth warmth and a great light. Telperion the one was called in Valinor, and Silpion, and Nequalote, and many other names. But Laurelin the other was, and Malinalda, and Kulurian, and many names in song beside. So what do you notice about the two trees? What jumps out at you the most when you first read these passages and you hear about these giant trees bursting with light? And in the Legendarium, we go on to learn that these trees provided all of the light that there was in the world until they were destroyed. And until they were destroyed, there was no sun or moon or stars providing light. The two trees provided all of the light. What really jumps out at me is the pronouns his and her. So we have a male tree and a female tree. We have a male silver tree. Silver light was falling, and the earth was dappled with the shadows of his fluttering leaves. And then the other tree was the yellow golden tree, and that is her branches. And so the male silver tree is Telperion, with a bunch of other names, and the female golden tree is Laurelin. And so you will often see references to the two trees of Valinor, and Valinor is the home of the elves. It is the peaceful, undying lands that everybody eventually returns to. There's a nice painting here of the two trees. And we can see Telperion and Laurelin as imagined by Rishi Shukla. And I found several paintings of the two trees which demonstrated how massively huge they were. If you want to know what happened to the trees and how they died, how they were brought down, and who did it, and how they did it, and how light came to the world after the trees were destroyed, well, you're going to have to go back and read the Silmarillion, because I'm not going to tell you. So that is our nature reading for the night. I hope you liked it. It is literally my favorite book, the Silmarillion. I have about probably 9 copies of it up there. I can't see one and not buy it. CL says, I pulled my copy out, paperback, printed in 92, and the pages are all yellowed. I think I'll leave it out to read on breaks. I think that is a great idea. The cool thing about the Silmarillion is you can just pick it up and flip to any chapter and start, because it's not really in a consecutive story. It's kind of consecutive in that the beginning of the book talks about the creation of the world, and the middle section sort of talks about the elder days when the elves were young, and then eventually the men are introduced. But, and it talks about how dwarves and all that came about, but you can pick it up at any point and just flip through it and turn to any chapter and read a 2 or 3 page chapter and enjoy the heck out of it. Completely asynchronously. You can jump around. You don't have to try and remember who all these characters are. When people read it for the first time, they have 2 questions. Why are there so many different characters who have so many different names? And why do they all start with F? I say that tongue-in-cheek, but it's kind of true. Every character seems to have 3 or 4 names, and it's tough to keep straight who's who, and they all seem to start with F. But that's neither here nor there. I think the best advice is what the Tolkien professor said, which is just read through it. Don't try to remember everything. Don't take notes. Don't try to remember who's who. Just pay attention to what's happening, and eventually you'll start to realize, oh, this is the same guy that this other thing happened to, or this is the same lady that something else happened to. Don't try to make too much sense out of it. I checked it out from the library on your recommendation and immediately began reading the Luthien and Baron chapter. I'm about 6 pages in on that chapter now. Excellent. You're not that far from the end, I think, although that is one of the bigger chapters. And that's one of the older stories, obviously, in his legendarium. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm glad you started it. 6 pages in. That's you made it a ways right there. I have 2 copies of the Unfinished Tales. Very good. Very good. I love it. Unfinished Tales are great because it's a compendium of stories that had been written and not finished, obviously, and compiled by his son for release after The Lord of the Rings. And you get all kinds of cool stuff in there. Both Unfinished Tales and Lost Tales. Dad says, I'm enjoying it. My wife, not so much. That's okay. It's not for everybody. That's okay. Yeah, Unfinished Tales and Lost Tales, and it's easy to get them mixed up. Unfinished Tales is the time travel one, right? And Lost Tales is the one that has the snippets about all the characters / wizards, how wizards work, things like that. I think that's Lost Tales. And if I remember right, Unfinished Tales is the time travel story about the father and son, correct? Let me know if I'm right. I think so. Yeah, my paperback Unfinished is over there. The problem is I've started looking at some things on the Kindle, and when you read something on the Kindle, it's not like holding it, so you don't remember exactly what you were looking at. Sometimes you even forget which book you're looking at because you just flip through so many of them, you know. Look who just showed up, Miss Kitty. Hello. Come here. Come here. Nope. Try to pick her up and she takes off. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I seem to have figured out the glitching camera problem. Just to demonstrate, let me go back to one of these other views. So now the camera seems smooth and it's not stuttering and we don't have a low frame rate droppage. One thing I did was I replaced all my USB cables with high-end, expensive USB-C Gen 4 cables, and I replaced, every single cable, and including the one going to the camera. A lot of this was based on AI recommendation. I also bought a USB-C Gen 4 powered hub to plug the camera into, and the mouse, and the laptop, and all this, and I also closed the laptop lid. So now the computer is not trying to drive 2 displays at once, and it seems to be getting along pretty well. Yep, there's the Miscellany, the Tolkien reader. Yep, there's a ton of stuff. There's enough books of his to last a whole lifetime. So I'm pretty happy that the camera is smooth. Oh, and I also plugged in an Ethernet cable. Instead of trying to live stream over Wi-Fi, I've plugged in an Ethernet cable also to the powered USB Gen 4 hub, high-speed hub. So now I'm rocking. Here, Ecamm will tell me what my speed is. Let's take a look and see. We are currently rocking a 578 megabits per second, which Ecamm says was fast enough if I wanted to stream to 10 different destinations, I could. So I could stream to YouTube, and I could stream to Facebook, and I could stream to Twitter, and I could stream to Instagram, and I could stream to 10 different places at once. Not that I would, but it says I could. This is a YouTube channel. I don't think I'm going to stream to all those other places. I've got Facebook, and I've got Twitter, and I've got Instagram, and all that crazy stuff. Sometimes I push little short videos out to those things, but it's a YouTube channel. It's nothing else. Well, hey, let's experiment. Here we are coming up on 9 o'clock. So let's experiment with making the live stream members only and see what happens. That'll basically end it for most of you, I think. I have this really old book titled The Tolkien Compass. I have a copy of that too. Yep. I don't think I've ever read it. I think it's like a explanation of his world, or maybe it's like maps, or I don't think I even really know what it is. It's a fan book or something like that, right? I can answer this one. I asked her that once, and CL says she goes by CL. That's what she told me, is that she goes by CL. So tell us if you want to be called something else, CL. Otherwise, you're CL. And you know who we never did see was that one guy, HW something, that showed up, and he said his name was Slow. He never came back, but that's okay. I saw Granny's live stream. I missed Lori's live stream live, but I did catch it after the fact. Daniel was live earlier today. All you folks have been going live. Tyler should go live. CL someday. I know someday you'll go live, right? Well, hey, let's experiment. For those of you who were not members, you won't be able to stay on after I do this trick. I hope it keeps members around. And I'm not even positive if Lori and Daniel are still here with us or not, but it's worth experimenting because I want to be able to report back. CL is good. It's how I sign all my paintings. And tabletops and fishing lures that you paint, right? Haha, wink, wink. If you know, you know. Painting fishing lures, that would be cool. So I'm going to try that. For those of you who are going to get bumped, yeah, I was really sad too. I really was bummed that I missed it. And I was sure to go back and watch it. I hope there was enough people on while she was live to talk to, because it's tough. It's tough to stream when nobody's there, I'll tell you. But you got to do it, because you stream to nobody for a few times, and then people start joining in future ones after that. So I'm going to experiment and make this live stream members only. Lori's here, good. So the two of you should see this continue. But for the rest of you, I really appreciate everybody for joining us and making it and hanging out with us tonight. I think we had a great time. I definitely enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one next week. We got a video coming out this Friday. I'm not 100% positive which one I'm going to give you. Maybe I'll give you the Hogs hammock, and maybe I'll just do the go ahead and get the Facing My Fear in the Windy Tornado out of the way. But I will see the rest of you all very soon. And let's see what happens to this live stream when I click this button right now.